Click the link below. Silent Hero Films, man. And I had a chance to, first let me say this, man. My flight club experience that I went to yesterday, Baron Davis put it on. And for full disclosure, I know BD. We're not friends or anything like that, but just in the basketball community, man, you need to do that annually. The VIP room was exquisite. I had a chance to compete with my son in NBA jams, and I was telling him about the old basketball players when I was a kid. All he knew was Reggie Miller, so I had to tell him about Andrew Mason and all the backup players or the secondary players without trying to, you get what I'm saying? And then they had the machine where you could shoot, you know what I mean? And he who scores the most points win. I competed against my son, and we competed against other people in the VIP room. Baron, keep that up, man. It was an A1 experience. It was my first time in Crossroads Gym, because when I played Crossroads in high school, they didn't have a gym. And I played them at the St. Monica's tournament, actually against Baron Davis. I actually had a very good game. Baron Davis just was better, way better. You know what I'm saying? But I thoroughly enjoyed. Only thing I wish they would have had was invited another food truck. I'm not a big Mexican food eater, and this is just me being selfish. I'm not big on rushed Mexican food, you know what I mean, where they're just spitting it out, it's in the heater, you know what I mean, and they're just throwing the meat on top because the cheese don't melt, and you don't get that the hot and the cold, the cheesy and the spicy, you know, it's all dry and so on and so forth. But overall, great experience. So let me tell you why we went. My son is getting into basketball, and he's going to be a pretty good basketball player at some point in his career. And so under one roof, I had a chance to see. I hadn't seen Alijah Areanas play, and I hadn't seen Alijah Areanas, Jason Crowe. I hadn't seen them play, only highlights, right? And I follow Gilbert Arenas on his social media platforms, and I love his out the box thinking. I'm pretty similar to him with the great outside the box thinking. And I've seen Ariza's son play before, but this time I was really going to keen in on him since I'm watching all three of them in the same day. Now, I didn't make Elijah's first half of the game. I'm going to break it down all three. And what I saw from Alijah Arenas, he's exquisite, man. His game translates to Division I basketball very well. And all three of these guys are sophomores, so you know. The skill set, the shooting, the understanding. He had a lot of turnovers because he doesn't have much help on Chazworth. He's probably scoring 60% of the points. He's getting about 70% of the rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically how Will Smith was at Bel Air High School on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You know what I'm saying? So, but the skill set, the shooting, I think Alijah Arenas has a chance to be very good in college. I'm not going to talk about them being pros, you know what I mean? But Alijah Arenas, out of them three, I would say is the leading candidate for McDonald's All-American right now, because you can't take all three, not unless they just flat out just destroying and dominate, because the McDonald's All-American got to hit all these regents, you know what I'm saying? And they may take two, maybe three. I don't know. I'm not the deciding factor. I went as a fan, and I really wanted to enjoy them. Now, the next game was Jason Crowe's son against Mercy Miller, who's going to Houston, who was also Master P's son. Now, for those of you who don't know, I used to train Little Romeo, and Mercy used to run around as a 7 or 8-year-old kid in the at the Galen Center. Yeah. And that's when I was training DeMar and coaching DeMar and Rome in the Say No. many years ago. Was that 15 years ago? Well, whenever DeMar was at USC, those 2 or 3 years, his senior year and his only year at USC. Jason Crowe, I see it. I was going there, honestly, I was going there expecting Kenny Anderson. I was going there expecting Marcus Levette Jr. Because they said he played point guard. I was going there expecting that. Right now, in my head, I think he's a scoring guard. He's a scoring guard, and I think he needs a screen. He's one of the kids that plays that will be. I can project him as an elite screen and roll guy, and one for that is it looks like he has a high IQ. He understands the game, but his deficiency right now, I think, is his foot speed. I think his foot speed is a little slower than Mercy Miller's and the physicality of the game. Now, granted, one is a senior, one is a sophomore, but if you're projecting him, I would say Jason Crowe's foot speed got to get a lot better, and his strength will come as he physically matures because he's a true sophomore, and I know many of these kids do a core prep year or something similar to that, and I think as a 2 guard, I can see him playing in college. As a point guard, right now, I would say that needs more work. In terms of the understanding of the game, he has a great deal of understanding of the game, and his dad coaches him, so I can see where he's going to get he's going to have the highest of the highest in terms of aptitude, you know what I'm saying? And what I did like, which I'm going to add, and thanks to them, what I'm going to add is they give them, I forget what they're called, Angelos, like those small oranges. I forget what they're called. They give them to their players throughout the game. I like that. I like that. Give them jolts of energy. They're not drinking that Gatorade. I think that's genius. Whoever thought of that, I think that's a great idea. So yeah, I think he got to work on his foot speed. He got to get on those agility ladders, those bands, stuff like that. He got to get him an SAQ coach, a speed, agility, and quickness coach. I think he looked like about 6'4", 6'5", maybe somewhere in maybe between 6'2" and 6'4", and I never stood next to him the whole night. Now the last one is Ariza. I'm drawing a blank on his first name. Now, here's a kid that athleticism is off the charts. He can run, he can jump. He's going to be when he falls in love with the game, he's going to be a hell of a defender. I mean, he has a chance to be like a lock. Man, listen. He has a chance to be an elite defender. I think his offense, I saw him take one shot and I liked it. It was a 3. I liked what it looked like. I think he needs to do more time doing skill set stuff, and I'm sure he's doing that with his dad and all that, I can imagine. But I think they need to consistently get in the gym for 2 or 3 hours because his athleticism is off the charts. I mean, oh man, his athleticism is off the charts. If he can get like that J.R. Smith type of offense with that athleticism, or Bernard King, the disciplines, more Bernard King, like the disciplines of how to score the ball, kind of like Areanas. Alijah knows how to score the ball. If Alijah had a point guard, it would be a show. It would be a show. Man, listen, it would be a flat out show there, but he doesn't have like a point guard and someone on the court that can say, man, go down there. He's basically dictating everything. And but Ariza, he's a monster. He's a monster. He has a lettuce. If he can get that Bernard King, Carmelo Anthony in him somehow, some way, and I think he's going to get it because his father's. I've seen him play about 3 or 4 times. I saw him play against Harvard Westlake. And I saw him play against Arcadia. And then I saw him. So I've seen him play 3 times. And his athleticism is off the chart. Off the chart. Just immeasurable. His strength is going to come. I would like for him to keen more on his offensive skills. Just being elite offensively, elite, like the elitists. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to following these kids' careers, man. I genuinely think they have the potential to be elite Division I basketball players. If now you guys would ask me to rank them, I would say Areanas number 1. Areanas number 1, Ariza number 2, because the name sound, and Crowe number 3. That's how I would rank them. Mercy Miller looks the part physically. He didn't have a good shooting night, but he looks the part physically. Big legs, strong, athletic. And I don't know if he did a core prep year. In the Valley, they call it a core prep year. Even if you don't go to core prep, if you do that in between year. But if he did, it's paying off because I trained little Romeo, and you could see the physical differences in terms of physical attributes, in terms of big legs, bigger frame. The term would be bigger frame. So, but yeah, man. But I had a great time overall. BD, you got to do this again. I mean, it was clean. It was organization. They had a VIP lounge that everybody could. Man, that VIP lounge was everything to me. I had a great time with my son. I proudly paid my $2 plus $2. I just wish they would have had an additional food truck, not just Mexican food. I think that would have helped. And also, if the food truck had a runner, because you got to go outside and order the food, can you place your order and they deliver it somehow, some way? Or did they have some type of system so you don't miss the games because the food is external? So if they can solve that, but it was dope. It was dope. Barron and Austin Crozier have their numbers retired there. I went to Venice High School, so the offshore breeze was when I'm walking home. It reminded me of walking home from high school because I live more inland now. I get no offshore breeze now. Anyways, man, y'all have a great day, man. It was a hell of an event. It was worth my $22. My son, it was $44, and we paid $40 for 2 burritos and a horchata. So there you have it. So anyways, man, y'all go ahead and have a great day. I'll be at year 2, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And I'm really looking forward to following these 3 young men careers. I think they have a huge upside, and that was my take. So anyways, man, talk to y'all soon. Peace.